Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today that will change the way you look at relationships. Everybody wants that one special connection, that kind of love that doesn't fade, that doesn't get old, that doesn't lose its spark. And the truth is, it all comes down to one powerful thing: having a boundary. See, when you set a clear line in your life, when you know your worth and refuse to settle for less, that's what makes a man fall in love forever. When it comes to love, one of the most misunderstood truths is that men don't just fall in love with beauty, charm, or even kindness. What makes a man truly fall in love and stay in love forever is respect. And respect is born out of boundaries. A boundary is not a wall. It's not about shutting someone out. It's about defining who you are, what you stand for, and what you refuse to tolerate. That line you draw is what tells a man exactly how much you value yourself. And when a man sees that, he respects you on a deeper level than anything else. Men respect boundaries because they reveal worth, and nothing captures a man's heart like knowing the person he loves has a strong sense of self-worth. A man may be attracted to you for many reasons, but attraction without respect will never last. Respect is what builds the foundation of love, and boundaries are what create that respect. When you show a man that you have non-negotiables, that you are not going to accept being treated in a way that goes against your values, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become more than just someone he dates. You become someone he admires, someone he looks up to, someone he knows he has to rise to meet. Men don't fall in love with what's easy. They fall in love with what challenges them to be better. If you allow a man to cross every line, if you accept every excuse, every bit of half love he offers, you teach him that you don't value yourself, and if you don't value yourself, he won't either. On the other hand, when you make it clear that your time, your heart, your energy, and your body are precious and not to be taken for granted, he has no choice but to respect it. That respect turns into admiration, and admiration is what makes a man fall in love in a way that lasts. See, men are natural testers. They test boundaries in every part of life, whether it's in their career, friendships, or relationships. They want to know how far they can go, what's allowed and what isn't. If you don't have a clear line, he will keep pushing, not because he doesn't care, but because that's how men operate. The moment he sees you standing firm, the moment he realizes you won't bend, that's when his heart locks in. That's when he says to himself, this is someone I can respect. This is someone I can give my all to. Boundaries are not about pushing a man away. They're about guiding him closer to the right version of himself. A man actually feels safer in love when he knows there are standards, because standards create structure, and structure is what makes him commit fully. Without boundaries, a relationship becomes chaos. With them, it becomes order. And love can only thrive in order. What most people don't understand is that love isn't just an emotion, it's a decision. A man chooses to love deeper when he feels that the person beside him is solid, strong, and unshakable in her values. When you respect yourself enough to stand by your boundaries, you're not just teaching him how to love you, you're teaching him how to love himself better too. He rises to meet the respect you demand, and in doing so, he grows. That growth bonds him to you in a way that's nearly unbreakable. Think about it this way. A diamond only has value because it's rare and it cannot be found just anywhere. Your boundaries make you that diamond. They show a man that he can't just treat you any way he wants and expect to keep you. He has to protect you, honor you, and value you. And when a man feels that he has something rare, something valuable, something that requires his best, he doesn't just fall in love, he stays in love. So when a man sees you respecting yourself, standing by your principles, and refusing to compromise your worth, he can't help but admire you. That admiration becomes respect, and that respect turns into the kind of love that doesn't fade. Because men respect boundaries, and in respecting them, they fall in love in a way that lasts forever. There's a lot of confusion in relationships today because people think that setting standards makes you difficult or hard to love. But the truth is, having standards is not a weakness. It's one of the greatest strengths a person can have. When a woman sets clear standards for how she wants to be treated, what she will accept, and what she will not tolerate, she's not pushing love away. She's pulling the right kind of love in. A man doesn't truly fall in love with someone who bends at every turn just to keep him happy. He falls in love with the woman who makes him rise to meet her standards because her strength inspires his respect. And that respect builds a love that lasts forever. A woman without standards makes it easy for a man to treat her casually. He doesn't have to give much. He doesn't have to prove himself. He doesn't have to invest his heart because she's already given everything without asking for anything in return. But when a woman has standards, it's like she's saying, if you want me, you gotta come correct. You gotta bring your best. And when a man truly cares, he doesn't see that as a problem. He sees it as motivation. He sees it as a challenge. That's worth the effort. That's what makes him value her more deeply. Because the things we work for are the things we hold on to the tightest. Now, some people are afraid to set standards because they think it will scare a man away, but the reality is this. The wrong man will always leave when he realizes he can't take advantage of you. That's not a loss, that's a blessing. The right man, the man who sees your worth, will respect your standards, he'll honor them, and he'll step up because of them. Strength doesn't drive away love. It attracts it. Weakness doesn't keep love. It only invites disrespect. Think about how life works in general. Every valuable thing has requirements. If you want to buy a house, you've got to prove you can afford it. If you want a high position in your career, you've got to qualify for it. If you want to win a championship, you've got to train, sacrifice, and push yourself. Love is no different. If there are no requirements, no standards, no expectations, then the relationship loses its value. Standards are not walls to keep love out. They are filters to keep the wrong kind of love from entering your life. When a woman sets standards, she communicates that she knows her value. She's not desperate. She's not begging to be chosen. She's not trying to force someone to see her worth. She already sees it herself, and that self-respect is magnetic. A man can sense it immediately, and it makes him see her in a different light. It makes him want to protect her, cherish her, and commit to her in a way he wouldn't if she accepted anything less. A strong woman with standards also creates stability in a relationship. Because when a man knows the line, when he knows what will and will not fly, he actually feels more secure. It gives him direction. It gives him purpose. Without standards, there's confusion. With standards, there's clarity. And clarity makes love grow deeper because both people know where they stand. A woman who can calmly and confidently say, "This is what I expect and this is what I won't allow," is showing a strength that a man can lean on. That strength doesn't weaken love, it strengthens it. When a man falls in love with a woman who has standards, he falls in love with her backbone, her confidence, her refusal to settle for less than she deserves. That doesn't intimidate him, it inspires him. It makes him want to be better, do better, and give more. That's why setting standards isn't about being difficult, it's about showing strength. And that strength is exactly what makes love last. Because when you stand strong on your values, you're not just telling a man how to treat you, you're teaching him how to love you. And once a man learns that lesson, once he feels the power of your strength, he doesn't forget it. He falls in love with it. And that kind of love doesn't fade away. One of the deepest desires every man has in a relationship, though he may never say it out loud, is security. Men might walk around acting tough, acting like they don't need anything, but the truth is, even the strongest man needs to feel safe with the person he loves. He needs to know where he stands. He needs to know the rules of engagement. And he needs to feel like the foundation of the relationship is solid. That's why boundaries are so powerful, because boundaries create that sense of security and trust that a man craves but won't admit. A man may be drawn to you by attraction, but what makes him stay forever is the safety he feels when he knows your boundaries. Without boundaries, a relationship becomes confusing. When everything is allowed, when there are no limits, no expectations, no clear definition of what's right and what's wrong, it creates chaos. Chaos leads to doubt, and doubt destroys trust. But when a woman stands firm and makes it clear what she will and will not accept, that gives a man clarity. That clarity becomes security. And that security leads to deeper trust. And trust is what makes love grow strong enough to last. Men respect women who create order in their lives. A boundary is not about control, it's about creating structure. Think about it like this. A house without walls is just an open space. Anybody can walk in, anybody can walk out. There's no protection, no sense of safety. But the moment you put up walls, the moment you define what belongs inside and what stays outside, it becomes a home. That's exactly what boundaries do in a relationship. They turn a simple connection into a safe place, a home where both people can thrive. When a man sees a woman who respects herself enough to build boundaries, he feels a kind of trust he doesn't find anywhere else. He knows she won't tolerate lies. She won't tolerate disrespect. She won't allow her time to be wasted. That makes him feel secure because he knows where the line is. He doesn't have to guess. He doesn't have to play games. He doesn't have to wonder what's acceptable and what's not. That clear line gives him direction. And men thrive when they have direction. Boundaries also protect love from outside forces. Every relationship will face challenges, temptations, distractions, misunderstandings. But boundaries act like guardrails, keeping both people on track. A man feels safe with a woman who protects the relationship by saying no to things that can damage it. He learns to trust her more, not just because of what she tells him, but because of what she consistently shows him through her actions. That trust becomes the glue that keeps the bond strong even when life throws storms their way. A lot of people think freedom means having no boundaries, but real freedom in love comes from having the right boundaries. Because when both people know the limits, they don't have to waste time second guessing or living in fear. They can trust each other fully, and that trust gives them the freedom to love without hesitation. Men fall in love with that kind of security because it's rare, it's precious, and it's what gives love staying power. When a man feels secure with a woman, he opens up to her in ways he won't with anyone else. He shares his dreams, his fears, his weaknesses, and his hopes because he trusts that she won't use them against him. That kind of openness only happens when boundaries are in place, because boundaries show him that she values herself and the relationship enough to keep it safe. And once he feels that safety, he never wants to lose it. So when a woman draws her lines with confidence, she's not pushing a man away, she's pulling him closer. She's giving him the gift of security, the assurance of trust, and the stability that every man longs for. And that is exactly why boundaries make a man fall in love forever. Because nothing is more powerful to a man than knowing that the love he has is safe, secure, and built on trust. Men are wired in a way that they don't always cherish what comes too easily. It's not that they don't value love, it's that they value what they have to respect, what they have to work for, and what they can't just take for granted. That's why the truth is simple. Men fall deeper when they know they can't cross every line. If you allow a man to push past every boundary, if you let him get away with anything, he won't value it the same way. But when he realizes there are limits he cannot cross, that he has to honor your standards and treat you with respect to keep you in his life, that's when his love deepens and becomes unshakable. When a man knows he can do whatever he wants without consequence, he won't rise to his best. He'll settle into comfort, and comfort without respect leads to neglect. But when he knows that certain lines cannot be crossed, whether it's about honesty, loyalty, or how you deserve to be treated, he suddenly understands that this relationship is different. It's not casual, it's not temporary, it's not something he can play games with. It's something he has to step up for. And when a man has to step up, he begins to invest himself fully. That investment is what makes him fall deeper in love. Boundaries are not there to punish a man. They're there to protect love and elevate respect. Every man, whether he admits it or not, actually admires a woman who won't let him get away with disrespect. She might frustrate him in the moment when she says no or stands firm, but deep down, he respects it. That respect creates a deeper bond than any charm or beauty ever could. Because beauty can catch a man's eye, but boundaries catch his soul. The lines you draw show him what kind of love he's dealing with. If you say yes to everything, he doesn't know your value. But the moment you say, this is where I stand and I won't let you cross this line, you teach him exactly how to love you. Men are learners in relationships, and they learn from what you accept and what you reject. If you allow lies, you'll get more lies. If you allow excuses, you'll get more excuses. But if you stand firm and show that certain behaviors will never be tolerated, you create a relationship built on honor. And honor is what makes love last forever. When a man feels like he has to earn your respect and keep your trust, he becomes more careful with your heart. He doesn't take you lightly. He doesn't gamble with the relationship. Instead, he becomes protective. He becomes loyal. He becomes intentional. That shift happens because he realizes he can't just cross lines and expect forgiveness every time. He knows he has to do right by you if he wants to keep you, and that responsibility deepens his love. Men are naturally competitive, and they thrive when they feel challenged in the right way. A woman with no boundaries doesn't challenge a man, she makes things too easy. But a woman with strong boundaries makes him rise to another level. She challenges him to become more disciplined, more respectful, more committed. And when he sees himself becoming better because of her presence, his love grows stronger. He doesn't just love her for who she is, he loves her for who he is when he's with her. Think about it. Every valuable thing in life has lines you can't cross. If you want to drive a car, there are rules. If you want to keep a job, there are rules. If you want to build wealth, there are rules. Relationships are no different. The boundaries you create are the rules that keep love safe and keep respect alive. And when a man realizes he can't cross those lines, he doesn't feel trapped, he feels protected. He knows the love he has is real, and he falls deeper into it because he sees it as something sacred. So when a man understands that every line can't be crossed, he doesn't pull away. He steps closer. He values you more. He respects the love you share, and he invests his heart in a way that lasts. And that is why men fall deeper when they know they can't cross every line. The way you carry yourself sets the tone for how everyone else will treat you, especially in relationships. Respect isn't something you demand with words. It's something you show through action, through standards, and through the way you value yourself. When a woman respects herself, she teaches a man how to respect her without even saying it. He watches how you treat yourself, how you allow others to treat you, and how you stand firm in your worth. That becomes the blueprint for how he approaches you. Respecting yourself is the first and most important lesson that tells a man how to love you the right way. A lot of women think respect has to be forced, but it doesn't. Real respect flows naturally when you show that you respect yourself first. If you accept mistreatment, constant excuses, or broken promises, you silently give permission for it to continue. A man might test you once or twice, but what you allow becomes the standard he will follow. On the other hand, when you show that you will not tolerate disrespect, that your time and energy are too valuable to be wasted, he adjusts. He realizes that if he wants a place in your life, he has to bring his best. Self-respect is powerful because it communicates your value without you needing to beg or convince anyone. A man sees it in how you hold your head high, how you set boundaries, how you walk away from what doesn't serve you. That strength makes him admire you, and admiration is the root of lasting love. A man cannot love deeply what he doesn't respect, and he cannot respect what you don't respect about yourself. When you show self-respect, you shift the dynamic of the relationship. Instead of chasing someone's approval, you create a space where he has to earn yours. That's what makes him step up. That's what makes him give more, because men give their best to what they value most. And when he sees that you value yourself, he learns to value you at that same level, or he loses access to you altogether. There's nothing weak or selfish about putting yourself first in this way. In fact, it's the strongest thing you can do, because when a man sees that you honor yourself, he trusts you more. He trusts that you won't lose yourself just to please him. He trusts that you won't let disrespect slide. He trusts that you're strong enough to hold the relationship to a higher standard, and that trust makes him commit with more intention, because he knows you're not someone who will settle for less than real love. Respecting yourself also teaches a man how to treat you in everyday ways. If you take care of your health, your dreams, and your peace of mind, he knows those things matter. He learns that he has to support those things instead of getting in the way. If you show him that your time is valuable, he learns to value it too. If you show him that honesty is non-negotiable, he learns to be more honest. He becomes a better man because you've shown him how, through your own actions. He becomes better because you've shown him how through your own action. Sometimes people fear that self-respect will make them lose someone, but losing a man who doesn't respect you isn't a loss at all. The man who truly loves you won't be pushed away by your standards. He'll be drawn closer by them because he knows you're not playing games. He knows you're not desperate. And he knows that being with you requires effort, consistency, and truth. That realization doesn't scare him, it makes him respect you more. And the more respect he has, the deeper his love becomes. Respecting yourself isn't just about protecting your heart, it's about setting the tone for the entire relationship. It teaches a man how to step up, how to treat you, and how to value the love you give. And when he learns that lesson, when he sees that your self-respect is unshakable, he doesn't just admire you, he falls in love with you in a way that lasts. Love is powerful, but love without direction can fade. It's not enough to just have feelings for someone, because feelings come and go. What makes love last is respect, structure, and commitment. And all of those things are built on boundaries. The right boundary doesn't push love away, it protects it. It gives it a place to grow. It's like planting a seed. If you don't put it in the right soil with the right conditions, it won't grow into anything strong. But when you plant it in good ground, it turns into a tree that can stand for decades. That's exactly what the right boundary does for a relationship. It makes love strong enough to last a lifetime. People often think boundaries are about limitation, but they're really about foundation. A relationship with no boundaries is like building a house on sand. It might stand for a while, it might look good on the outside, but the first storm that comes will knock it down. Boundaries are like concrete. They make sure that when challenges come, when life gets hard, when emotions get tested, the love doesn't collapse. The right boundary gives love something solid to stand on, and that's why it lasts. When a man meets a woman with the right boundaries, he knows immediately that she's not like everyone else. She doesn't bend for every little thing. She doesn't compromise her values just to keep someone. And she doesn't hand out her love to anyone who doesn't deserve it. That kind of strength makes a man respect her in a way that goes beyond attraction. It makes him want to protect her, honor her, and commit to her. Because deep down, men know that anything worth keeping has to be guarded carefully. The right boundary also teaches both people how to treat each other. It says, this is how we protect our trust. This is how we handle respect. This is how we keep love alive. Without that guideline, people get careless. They take each other for granted. They cross lines, and eventually the relationship breaks down. But when the line is clear, when the respect is mutual, both people invest more. They don't want to risk losing what they have.